The loudest voices in the room aren't always in the room, right? A lot of them live in our heads. Some to the people around you, and some are sitting right at the head of the table. The boss, the leader. 3 sets of voices, wiring our behavior, our culture, our results every single day. And one shift can change it all. The matrix inside of you, these are the voices no one else hears, yet we hear them all the time, don't we? And honestly, it starts with noticing what's actually going on in your head, your thoughts. Life is a mental game. And remember, if you repeat a thought enough, it becomes your belief system. It runs your life. It's your inner soundtrack. The stuff you say to you, literally, on a loop, but so quietly, you barely catch it, and it runs your life. You walk into a high-stakes meeting, and the voice inside your head says, "This always goes bad." Your body hears it, and you brace like you're heading into a fight. You're ready for the negative. But if you walk into that same meeting with a different mental game, we've done hard things before, we'll figure this out. Your body sets up completely different. Same you, different voice in your head. That's your inner matrix, your old stories, your hand-me-down beliefs, everything life has piled on top of. There's nothing wrong, it's just the way life is. It's the way our brain works. But here's the good news. That wiring can be interrupted. You can rewire your brain. You can run on purpose instead of just putting up with it. That's the whole point of pause, breathe, proceed. Neuroplasticity, rewiring your brain to live the life you want to live in your head. Now we step outside your head, and these voices belong to other people. Now bring in the people around you. Every close friend, every coworker, every voice in the group chat is another line of code going into your head. Except this code is coming from someone else. And you can choose whether you accept it. One friend looks at a mess and says, "This is impossible. This system's rigged. Why bother? It's not going to happen." And you hear that enough and watch what happens. It stops being your story, their story, and it becomes yours. And now you're saying in your head, "I can't do it." But another friend looks at the same mess and says, "It's a lot. We'll figure it out. One small move at a time." That voice gets copied into your system too. Give it time and you start thinking in their words, feeling their moods, moving in their patterns. And it's got nothing to do with you not being able to handle life. It's built, that's biology. It's why culture by design, not default, matters just as much around your kitchen table as it does in a company. Because who you surround yourself with, you become like them. And leaders, amplify the situation. Still someone else's voice, but now in the whole room. And they're the loudest voice of all, the leader, the head of the family. The leader's voice doesn't land in one head. It echoes throughout the whole room and into everyone's head at once. A bad leader walks into the room, radiating control and blame. The message, don't screw up. So everyone tightens up. The room goes quiet. The good ideas never make it out of people's mouth out of fear. Now, a good leader walks into the room. This is hard. We won't get it all right away. We'll learn, we'll grow, we'll go again until we get it figured out. The room opens up, people speak. Braver ideas hit the table. Same people, same jobs, totally different wiring inside their head and out loud in the room. That's a pauser. In leadership, someone who won't let knee-jerk reactivity run the room. Their attitude run the room. Pick responses on purpose. They can radiate what they bring to the table. Now the inner circle, the leader, you take all 3 side by side. Here's the whole picture. It's quite simple. Your inner thoughts, that's the closest voice you've got that no one else can hear. It talks to you all the time. That one's all you. Your friends, that's your outer circle, feeding your head whether you notice it or not. That's them, not living in your head unless you allow it. And your leaders, that's the loudspeaker, broadcasting what's okay, what's possible, and what's going to happen when it all goes sideways. When all three point in the same bad direction, scared, cynical, defensiveness, our world gets heavy. But if you point all three towards curiosity, ownership, guts, and a little compassion, and it opens way up. It's about seeing the pattern. And patterns, you can catch them and interrupt them and rebuild them. Rewire your brain. That's the heart of pause, breathe, proceed. Quiet the noise, rewire the response, and find your power. The micro pause, where change really starts to happen. That gap that sits between every voice and what you do next. And here's what nobody taught us in school, and it's so important. There's a tiny gap, shorter than one breath, between what happens to you and what you do next. And in that gap sits a choice. Most days, you don't even get to make it. The old thoughts make it for you. Your friends' voices make it for you. The leaders, this is how it's always done, makes it for you. Now the pauser move is different. A practical reset in about 90 seconds. Stay at what are we about to do? It interrupts the automatic reaction right in the middle of a real day, a real meeting, a real conversation. It clears the noise and gets you responding from peace, power, and purpose instead of the old script in your head or what someone else has fed you. There's a reason it works real fast. We're going to share that with you. Connect with us, because the culture we build, it works together. And this is how lives are created, businesses are created. And for teams, this isn't a nice to have. It's practical. Leaders who actually pause give people in the room the ability to tell their truth, own their mistakes, and try something bold without walking on eggshells. Build it into how you work instead of bolting it on to your life, wondering. And people bring more of their head and heart to the same job if you give them that freedom. Same goes at home. When one person pauses, the whole conversation can shift. The old fight loses steam, and your kids catch a different way to handle hard stuff just by watching you do it. That's culture by design. In your head, around the table, across the whole room. So here's the real ask. When is the last time you took a real pause? Not a scroll, not a quick pivot, an actual pause. Before a meeting, before a hard talk, before a big call. Picture a place where the voices in your head are calmer, the people around you lift you higher, and your leaders pull out the best in you. That's the room we build together with Pause, Breathe, Proceed. Because a pause can change everything in your head, in your circle, and in the way you lead in your business and in your family. Peace, power, and purpose. 3 words: pause, breathe, proceed. 1 habit will change your life, will change your business, will change the voices in your head and the people around you. This is Karen Wright, New Way of Living with a New Way of Thinking. Peace out.